Tonight on SportsDesk, March is here. Our Hurricane Hangtime crew takes a look at what March will bring for the Canes squads as the regular season comes to an end.
Plus, Brawl with Boston. Our Inside Pitch crew previews this weekend's series against Boston College.
And finally, safety in numbers. How one women's walk club is providing a safe social setting for members.
All this and more.
Coming up on SportsDesk.
And it starts
right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Reese Davidson. You're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
I'm Jalen Phillips, and you're watching SportsDesk.
I am Michael the Playmaker Urban. You are watching SportsDesk.
Hello everyone and welcome back to SportsDesk. I'm Luca Mucciardi.
And I'm Penelope Gilbert. Thank you for joining us. Almost 20 years ago, on November 7th, 2006, football player Brian Potto was shot and killed outside his apartment complex. For years, the case went cold until 2021 when Rashawn Jones was arrested for the murder. The trial began on February 18th, 2026, with the jury unable to reach a verdict, resulting in a mistrial. Potto's family was distraught, expressing deep disappointment over the lack of a verdict. On Wednesday, the judge asked Jones to discuss with lawyers to take a plea deal to, quote, solve this today. However, Jones declined. The judge declined a retrial, decided a retrial would start May 18th and reduce Jones' initial bond of $850,000 to $500,000.
With the postseason quickly approaching, the Miami Hurricanes jetted off to the Lone Star State for their penultimate game of the regular season. Let's take it to Dallas for the highlights. Canes taking on SMU, looking for their 24th win of the season. Started off, Trey Donaldson moves off a ball screen, kick down low. Shelton Henderson's going to bury that one all day. Canes take a 4-2 lead. Few moments later now in transition, Trey Donaldson can't leave him that wide open. He's going to let that one fly. Miami out the gates early here against SMU, and now a man's jam with the left hand from True Washington. Miami pounding it on with 9.5 left to go. Now, right before the half, Noam Dovrat. This kid can't miss. A fadeaway Jay for 3 right as the Canes take a 7-point lead into the half, and he keeps firing on all cylinders. Noam goes 4 for 5 on the night for 12 points from beyond the arc. Miami looking to get that win, and here it is. Seal the deal. What goes up must come down. Ernest Udeh with a big slam. Miami's going to seal it with a True Washington lay. 77-69. The Hurricanes take the victory. Trey Donaldson with 17 points, 7 boards, and 9 assists. Malik Renew with another double-double, 14 points and 11 rebounds. But while the men have been dominating, the women's team has been on a run of their own. Our Hurricane Hangtime crew is live in studio with more. Guys?
Welcome back to Hurricane Hangtime. I'm your host, Cameron Williams, joined by analysts Liam Hickey and Sarah Landau. Miami pulled off a tough win on the road at SMU Wednesday night, powered by their best three-point shooting of the season. Liam, who was the difference maker for the Hurricanes?
Cam, no one was more surgical than 6'5" Israeli guard Noam Dovrat, who turned the Moody Center into target practice. And when head coach Jay Lucas gives you the nickname Noam Shoot the Ball, it's because you're 8 for 10 from 3 for over the last 2 games. He's been a dominant 3-and-D guy that can stretch the floor. And how about Ernest Udeh Jr. tying his career high with 4 blocks? He said no suit for you to cement Yigatoglu to seal the win for the Hurricanes.
Absolutely, and some great performances as the regular season comes to a close. But what lies ahead for the Canes in March?
Well, the Canes will look to close it out against this Louisville team for their season finale, and then they'll look to round it out as number 3 seed in the AC tournament. They'll try to run the table there, and if they can continue to stack these wins down the stretch, they'll almost certainly be guaranteed a number 7 seed in the NCAA tourney, which will prove that they will not play a number 1 team in the final first weekend.
Yes, and we love to hear that. Now, switching over to women's basketball, Sarah, headed into the ACC tournament, what was going to be the biggest challenge for the Canes?
Yeah, Cam, the Canes took on a tough last regular season loss to Georgia Tech on Sunday on the road, 79-49, and this put them in a bad spot in terms of tournament rankings. They were slotted at number 12, where they faced off against number 13 ranked Stanford. They were able to take the win in overtime, 83-76, but it was kind of a rough game. They started off hot, but then they kind of fell apart going into the fourth quarter. They only scored 5 points points, but Rashea Kyle was able to save the day for the team, scoring 25 points and 11 rebounds.
Yes, and now Sarah, after moving past the first round of the ACC tournament, how did the Canes round up their season?
Yeah, the Canes faced off yesterday against number 5 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and going into it, they knew it was going to be a tough game, an uphill battle, especially with Notre Dame's Hannah Hidalgo, the ACC back-to-back Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. She just took the night away, and the Canes ended up losing 69-54 to end their postseason play.
Well, March is here and the madness will continue, and Gio Alonso is celebrating spring break a little earlier than expected on this week's Behind the Post. Take it away, Gio.
Spring break is right around the corner and I'm finally starting to defrost. I'm joking. It's been 80 plus for the last 5 weeks. The sun is still up, the beaches are somehow more packed, and Cane's social media is posting away. I'm Gio Alonso, this is Behind the Post, and tonight I'll be your host. So I've got good news and bad news. Now my mom always said start with the bad, but I say, why not both at the same time? Women's basketball snagged a postseason win this past Wednesday, taking down Stanford in the opening round of the ACC tournament. And then, promptly losing by 15, but who cares? Roll the highlights.
Miami successful, a 7-point victory in an absolute thriller.
Now before I move on to the other hoop squad, let's cover the bad news. Last weekend, baseball suffered a 2-game sweep at the hands of the Gators. Boo! Despite a sold-out crowd on Friday night and a record student turnout. We were undefeated. How did we get swept? At least I can wash it down with a nice alligator milkshake? That's it. Early season crash out time. I'm not going to another baseball game ever again. I'll take that into consideration. Enough about losing. Let's yap about some wins. Men's basketball continues tearing through the regular season. And after Wednesday's win at SMU, the Canes secured a double bye in the ACC tournament.
Is this what I think it is? Is this a sweet treat? Because it looks like a sweet treat and
Huh. A post-dub video that didn't fry my brain? Admin must be headed out for the break. Speaking of which, I got a flight to catch. Just kidding. I live 10 minutes away. By car. 30 walking, but let me pretend, okay? I'm Gio Alonso, and I just took you behind the post. Happy 305 day, and I'll see you in La Playita. This is water, by the way.
Thanks, Gio. Time for a short break, but coming up, baseball's biggest tournament is back in Miami. Carter Lutz has more on the World Baseball Classic when Sports Desk returns. Stay with us.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
While the Marlins season is still a month away, Lone Depot Park is already filled with excited fans for this year's World Baseball Classic. Carter Lutz is live at the ballpark with more. Carter?
Thanks, Luca. I'm currently standing outside of Lone Depot Park, where the World Baseball Classic is officially underway. And if you're not familiar with the WBC, it's kind of like the Olympics, but for baseball. 20 teams, 20 different countries, all the best players in the world gathered to crown one champion. Miami is one of 4 host cities. If you can't tell by the action going on behind me, the fun has just begun.
I think it's amazing. You know, I grew up here in the U.S., so haven't really been able to experience much of my kind of winter culture, but being here, being able to see the team play, being able to see my culture expressed a lot. I think it's an honor, first of all, and it's a great experience overall.
There'll be games all the way up until March 17th when the championship game will be played here in Miami at Lone Depot Park. Reporting from the World Baseball Classic, Carter Lutz.
Thank you, Carter. Canes baseball fell to the Florida Gators after starting the season 10-0 in what ended up being a 2-game series last weekend, but they bounced back in the midweek game. Our Inside Pitch crew is live in studio with more on those games and what the Canes have to do this weekend. What do you guys got?
Welcome back to Inside Pitch. I'm your host, MK Eason, and I'm joined by our baseball analyst, Johnny Mushkin. Johnny, the Canes had a disappointing weekend series against Florida, struggling on almost every front. Tell us about the batting deficiencies.
Yeah, well, never good to get a series sweep, first losses of the season. But listen, if you're the Miami Hurricanes, you have some of the best power hitters, not just in the ACC, but in the NCAA. So take a look at these highlights, or should I say lowlights. Only 6 runs in total, 1 hit throughout 5 innings in the first game. And like I said, you got these 6 power hitters, such as Daniel Cubé, and Daniel Cubé was 0 for 7 in the series overall. Very few back-to-back hits. The fastball absolutely smoked him. They need to develop this discipline at the plate and try to find the bald spots in a tough defense, because it's only going to get harder as ACC season is starting this weekend.
And a similar performance on the pitching side. The Canes only let up 6 runs in 6 innings, but those final 3 innings, they completely collapsed, letting up 9 runs, but a diamond in the rough. And some hope for the Canes. Rob Evans, tell us about his performance last weekend.
Yeah, well, he rocked the Sunday bump. As you can see right here, 12 Ks and 1 walk and only 6 innings pitched. That leaves him at 23 strikeouts so far this season. As we take a look at his highlights, he's a fastball first kind of pitcher. He attacks the zone early on, gets him to swing for it, and then gets him to chase the changeup as well. As you can see right here, he's absolutely nasty with a variety of pitches. He's going to be a very scary weapon throughout ACC season. And this Saturday bump against Florida really proved him to be a stud for this Hurricanes roster.
And the Canes had a midweek win, getting some redemption against Bethune-Cookman on Wednesday, but they're opening up conference play against Boston College tonight. How can they use this weekend to build confidence before hitting the road?
Yeah, the boys from Beantown are down here in the 305. So for that, we got Johnny's Locks for a wicked smart series. So going on to the first one, you like apples? You got to trust this offensive core of power hitters to make some noise and get those bats dirty. Second off, you got Thunder Buddies for life. You gotta love to see it. Alex Sosa and Alonso Alvarez, they're gonna be key weapons. And then finally, we got It's Not Your Fault. Derek Williams with a home run. Keep it up for this Boston College series.
Thanks, Johnny. That accent sounded a little Australian, but that is all the time we have for today. Catch us next week for some more baseball, and we'll see you tonight at the Late.
Thanks, guys. For some, it's a form of exercise, but for others, it's a way to socialize. Paddle has become one of the most popular sports in South Florida. Luke Bell has more on this growing craze.
What started as a niche sport is quickly turning into a social phenomenon across South Florida. At Ultra Paddle Club in Little River, paddle is drawing in players of all ages and skill levels and finding its way into Miami's active social culture. Often described as a cross between tennis and pickleball, paddle may sound familiar, but it plays by its own rules.
Well, the racket is different. It's flat. You don't have the strings. You have to be more reactive, more quick to the ball. You use the glass surrounding the court, which, is very tricky.
Like tennis, the objective is to hit the ball over the net and onto your opponent's side. But here's the twist. The ball can hit the walls and stay in play, meaning there's no true out of bounds. Points continue as long as the ball only bounces once before it's returned, keeping rallies fast, unpredictable, and exciting. And for many players, it's not just about the game. Like other casual paddle enthusiasts, Aurora Hetzel says the social side is what hooked her.
It's fun because you play doubles all the time, so you have this bond with your partner, and you meet other people all the time. I mean, I just started, so I haven't been in tournament yet, only doing a clinic, trying to improve my game.
For some, paddle has become more than a hobby. After growing up playing tennis, Coach Sofia Coiran picked up paddle during the COVID pandemic and never looked back.
And I went a couple years ago to Mexico to the Panamericanos and represent the USA. I had the chance to compete with amazing athletes around Latin America.
Paddle was invented in 1969 and has since grown to have over 30 million recreational players worldwide. Since COVID, the number of paddle courts built per year in the U.S. has nearly tripled. As paddle continues to gain momentum across the country, Sofia says she sees more than just a trend. She sees a future.
I'm very passionate about racket sports. Tennis is like my everything, my first love, but then I had like a second chance with paddle.
From casual players to coaches chasing a second act, the rise of paddle in Miami is about more than competition. It's about community. And at Ultra Paddle Club, this fast-growing sport is clearly here to stay. For UMTV, I'm Luke Bell.
Thanks, Luke. Up next on Sports Desk, hear about one Canes golfer that has been named to one of the most prestigious rosters in amateur golf in this week's edition of the O Sports Roundup. But first, it's time for some trivia. Every few years, the World Baseball Classic brings out legendary teams. But which team has the most World Baseball Classic championships? Is it A, the United States, B, Japan, C, the Dominican Republic, or D, Mexico? The answer when we return.
UMTV family, I'm Cameron Dobbs, double Cane class of 2021 and former anchor of Sports Desk. Today I host Inside South Florida on WSFL 39, contribute with the Florida Panthers, cover volleyball on ESPN broadcast, and more. All thanks to Sports Desk. The hands-on experience from UMTV truly prepared me for the industry, and I'm forever indebted to the U for that. I wouldn't trade those Friday nights for anything. So as always, love you, go Canes.
All right, we got spring break right after this. What plans we got going?
I mean, there's no better place to be than Miami.
Staying down here.
Hey,
some of the fellas from back home come.
I can't blame you. This is a spring break destination.
Yeah,
Miami.
Sports Desk was just such an amazing experience for me. You know, just be able to spend my Fridays there at Studio B and just create amazing shows week in and week out with my fellow classmates and, of course, the ever so famous Mr. Joby. But Sports Desk really just holds a very, very special place in my heart. Not only for the amazing things we did, but the amazing lessons I learned from communication, organization, team building. I owe Sports Desk a lot, and it's just very, very special to me.
If you answered B, you'd be correct. Japan is widely considered the most successful World Baseball Classic team ever, having won 3 titles and never finishing lower than 3rd. They are also the only team to have won the tournament multiple times. Women's rugby may not be the most popular sport in the U.S., but the UM Women's Club rugby team has been making strides in growing the game here on campus. Vivian Amoya has the story.
The University of Miami has over 30 club teams that operate similar to the varsity sports. One big difference is that club teams are student-run and the coaches are volunteers.
Well, that's why I do it. Because as you know, there's a volunteer position. You don't get paid to do this. So it's because of the passion of the game and sharing the love that I have for the game.
Joaquin Lira is the head coach of the Women's Rugby Club here at UM and has been for over 3 years now. And women's rugby as a whole is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. The women's team here has grown exponentially in the past few years with the help of Lira.
It's been like a complete 180. Again, like when I joined, it was only a few of us. We didn't really get along. It wasn't super competitive. And then as we've started to have good games, we've been like, okay, like this is kind of fun.
The team expresses what it would mean for them to perform in the big leagues.
We always talk about how fun that would be to be at that level of competitiveness. For us, it would be a change of mindset almost.
Looking to provide a stronger base for the club, Lira is creating a UMWRFC alumni organization and board to provide support and guidance to the team. The team is also hosting their 2nd annual alumni match in April to bring past and current players together.
And so we have alumni now reaching out to us to be like, how can we get involved and how can we bring things back?
The sport may look intimidating, but it is actually beginner friendly and welcome to all.
It is a sport for people of all shapes and sizes. And even if you're afraid of your shadow, you know, everybody has a rugger inside them. And if they come here, we bring it out.
Well, I'm new. Like, I've never played rugby in my life. We have some people who have like a little bit of experience, but most of us like just started like with the club rugby team. I've made like so many friends. Everyone's the nicest person ever. Like, we're basically just having fun and we're winning while we're doing that.
As the team continues their competitive season, Lira continues to advocate for each and every one of his players.
So for me, the beauty is watching the growth of a young lady that comes in, Some young ladies have never played any kind of organized sport before, then challenging their bodies and challenging their minds into a contact sport, and then actually succeeding. And then you see that growth and that confidence, not only in the way they carry themselves, but the way you can see it in their eyes.
Vivian Amoya, UMTV.
Thanks, Vivian. It's been a big week for Miami's Olympic sports, with track and field having a strong showing at the ACC Championship and a Canes golfer receiving a high honor. Our O Sports Roundup crew is here with everything that's been happening on the track, in the pool, and on the course. Guys.
What's up, Hurricanes? Welcome back to another edition of the O Sports Roundup. I'm Vivian Amoya.
And I'm Melissa Golden. The track and field team dominated the ACC Indoor Championships last weekend. Edgar Camprey won the heptathlon, Ace Malone won the 400, and the men's 4x4 took gold for the second straight year. All three will represent Miami at the NCAA Indoor Championships this weekend. They'll be joined by Tanya De Silva in the weight throw, Kennedy Sauter in the high jump, and Natalie Varela in the 800. Vivian, what's new on the golf course?
Big news for golfer Scarlett Schremer, who was named by the USGA to the 2026 Elite Amateur Program. Scarlett is #1 for the class of 2025, and she is used to the big leagues. She's been playing with the U.S. national team for the past few years, and as of November, she was ranked 59th in the nation for amateur play. She will continue to play at the highest level with this program. Tell us about swim and dive, Alyssa.
Sophomore swimmer Ashlyn Massey punched her ticket to the NCAA Championships for the second straight year. She'll compete in the 200-yard butterfly, where she currently holds the school record, along with the 100-yard butterfly. She could also be joined by Miami divers, who will look to qualify in the Zone B meet this Sunday through Wednesday. The NCAA Championships will take place March 18th through 21st in Atlanta. Vivian, how did tennis perform this week?
It was a devastating week for the men's tennis team, with a 3-4 loss to number 59 Louisville and a 0-4 loss to number 17 Notre Dame. They were able to score the doubles point against Louisville with 2 wins, but the Cardinals notched 4 wins on the singles courts for a comeback. The women's team is coming off of a high against Louisville last week, and both teams played Wake Forest earlier today.
That's all for the O Sports Roundup. Back to you.
Thanks, guys. For many women, exercising alone in downtown Miami means being on high alert. Sophia Mazza is live in studio to tell us about one local walk club trying to change that.
It's called 10K Steps Miami. What began as a small meetup for women tired of looking over their shoulders has exploded into a movement. Now this women-only walking club is bringing in professional security to help reclaim the streets.
Michaela Wilson moved to Miami 6 months ago looking for a fresh start. But she quickly realized walking the city streets alone came with a price.
Usually looking around or being more alert and aware of my surroundings, and honestly ready to run if I need.
Michaela isn't alone. Data shows 92% of women feel concerned for their safety while exercising outdoors. To combat that fear, 10K Steps Miami was born, a women-only community built to provide safety in numbers.
Not just be alone with my little headphones on, walking by myself. It feels nice. It feels nice to be able to be in a community and do that.
The club even hires armed security to watch the perimeter. Co-founder Josie Lettner says this helps remove the fight-or-flight instinct that comes with walking downtown.
Adding that extra protection with security is just creating an environment where, like, we can turn our brains off.
With her guard down, Michaela says the experience has transformed from ready to run to ready to connect.
I really think that it's really helped us take up space, especially in Miami.
In a city known for movement, these women are proving that safety can move too.
Organizers say the group now draws hundreds of women every single Saturday, and they plan to keep walking as long as women in Miami need a safe place to move and connect. You can find them on Instagram to join the movement at 10K Steps Miami.
Thanks, Sophia. After the break, a young team looking to keep a national title right here in South Florida. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
Of course I've thought about it, but there's all this stuff in the way.
Oh, you're not kidding.
The house, the kids are going to college.
A new car.
Car? You bought a new car?
Oh, hey, you should meet my friend Avo. Avo's a retirement coach. He'll help get you started.
But what does Avo tell you to do?
You don't know? Focus on your future. Your goals can still be met.
But how?
Target your tomorrow and use the Avo bet.
You sing?
Not really. A is for taking action. Start off with a plan.
You built these letters?
Yep. V is for variety. There's so many ways you can.
I follow you.
Come on. O's for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice sign.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Cool.
Hockey has continued to grow in popularity in South Florida, and the winning culture goes beyond the pros. Jeremy Fonseca has more on one South Florida squad looking to keep their national title.
Ice hockey has taken over the state of Florida. With the professional success of the Florida Panthers, youth hockey has been growing in the Sunshine State.
Fans will watch the game and they're going to have kids, and hockey will be something that maybe 20 years ago wasn't on their radar for their kids to play, but somebody at school's playing hockey, so Billy wants to play hockey, and that's how that thing starts, right? They look at it as an opportunity for them.
And that success has had a trickle-down effect where local rinks are seeing more kids lace up the skates.
Not even comparable. It's so much different with the numbers of kids that they have now. The skill levels are insanely different. It's funny, I was talking to somebody the other day who I grew up playing with, and we're talking about how the kids are doing things now at 7 that we thought we were amazing for doing at 18.
And one amazing achievement happened just last year when the South Florida Golden Wolves became the first team from Florida to win the Under-16 Tier 2 3A USA Hockey National Championship.
The celebration begin! The Golden Wolves are national champions!
For these players, this moment will be one that they remember for the rest of their lives.
It was pretty surreal. We came into it confident because we've beaten this team multiple times throughout the season. We went up quick and early, and then at the ice cut, we were up like 3-1, I believe, and then we just came out, held the pressure, and then we won, and that feeling was like no other feeling before. It was unreal.
The moment was so memorable, in fact, that the Florida Panthers gave the Golden Wolves their own special shout-out on their social media pages. But winning a national championship doesn't just happen overnight. It takes years of hard work and dedication.
I started playing ice hockey when I was about 10 or 11. None of my family played, but I just saw how competitive and fun it was.
One of my teammates, Dylan, he took me to a free skate once, and from there I kind of just grew to love skating, and I learned to play hockey from there.
The Golden Wolves are looking to defend their national championship, and it starts with states this weekend. And with this continued success, it might not be too long until the next NHL superstar comes from the Sunshine State. I'm Jeremy Fonseca, reporting for UMTV.
Thanks, Jeremy. The Minnesota Timberwolves faced off against the Toronto Raptors last night, and this dunk by the Timberwolves' Anthony Edwards had to be the highlight of the game. Let's take it to Minneapolis for today's Play of the Day. Edwards has easily become one of the league's most talented players, and it's thanks to moments like this. Watch as he drives into the basket for that monster dunk. I mean, just look at the airtime he gets on this jump here. He jumped with full confidence, and it definitely paid off there for him. The Timberwolves will go on to beat the Raptors 115-107.
The madness of March has begun, so let's send it all the way to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania for our second Play of the Day. Lehigh taking on Holy Cross, the quarterfinals of the Patriot League tournament, and Nasir Whitlock's gonna pull up from midcourt and money. Look at that. The Stabler Athletic Center erupts. Lehigh storms the court. What a moment. They advance to the Patriot League semifinal where they'll face 3-seeded Colgate on Sunday. What a moment. Only type of thing that you could see in March.
You know, Luca, these basketball highlights are really getting me pumped for March Madness.
And especially, we're going to have Miami in it this year, looking like they're going to be a 7th seed. Just fantastic stuff, and it leads right into baseball season. You got to love what things are going for
Best
right now.
time of year.
And now spring break starts next week.
Doesn't get better than
this.
this.
It's going to be great. I mean, any plans for spring break?
I mean, I'm going to be here in Miami. There's really no better place to be.
Right? I mean, look, I could go back home. I could go to the cold. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I can't be doing that.
I'll take Miami.
I'll keep it in
day.
Miami. It's nice down here, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Sports Desk. Thank you for joining us.
We'll be back in 2 weeks, same time, same place. Have a great spring break.